Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Yvette Unplugged. Oh, guys. It's been so long. Has it been 2 weeks or 3? I know it's at least been 2. Man, oh man. So much has happened. And I can't even get into all of it. But I am here. I am alive. I am well enough. And yeah, let's just get into it. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day, y'all. Today's Woman Crush Wednesday is actually going to be my sister-in-law. A part of some of the things that have been happening in the past few weeks is that we found out that my sister-in-law has been diagnosed with breast cancer. They've actually found that the cancer has spread to her spine and some spots under her arm. And I think one more spot that I'm not able to recall right now. And I'm actually going to put her, she has one of those pages where you can kind of get updates about what's happening with her situation. And I'm going to link that below because there's also an opportunity for you guys to donate to a GoFundMe that is linked within the page, because hospital bills, stuff starts to add up. And so I know the family personally, and so I can assure you that it is a legit GoFundMe link for you to be able to donate to. But yeah, I'm going to link that in the show notes below. And if you guys would just join us in just praying for recovery, a full recovery, and even just praying for their family, for us. We are the family. It's kind of crazy. But praying for family and friends that are close to Brittany, as we all kind of navigate her journey with her, alongside her. I really do believe in the power of prayer. And the reason that I chose Brittany as my Woman Crush Wednesday is because one thing that I can say about my sister-in-law that has been consistent throughout my entire relationship with this woman is her relationship with the Lord. Her faith, her obedience, her submission to his will, and even to the Lord allowing this disease to kind of, I don't want to say take over her body because I don't feel like that's the right phrasing that I want to use, but just walk through this is amazing. I was speaking with her on Friday, or I don't know if that was Friday. I was speaking with her at some point this past weekend, and she had mentioned that she realizes that the terminal illness that she got diagnosed with is going to affect everyone else in a different way. This is not that her diagnosis is not about her, is kind of what she kind of gave it to. And I actually was earlier today, and I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek, but our next merch drop that's happening on April 15th, one of the designs says made in purpose. And I was kind of doing a little bit of research on what it means to be made in purpose for the Lord. And one of the things that was coming up was our purpose is to glorify the Lord. And it kind of if you think about it on a grand scheme of things, it kind of sounds like, man, Lord, you really like that? You just want us to glorify you or whatever. But that is our purpose. And I'm looking at my sister-in-law and I'm she is living out her purpose. She is glorifying the Lord even in the midst of something that I know is trying, but her faith is beautiful to watch and to see. And furthermore, when I was looking into like what it means to be made in purpose, and I came to the conclusion that it is to glorify the Lord, I encountered something that was saying, and in order to glorify the Lord, we kind of have to be close to him. We have to draw near to him. And I feel like my sister-in-law is doing that. She is being diligent in drawing to the Lord. She's a worshiper, just like me. She just has a more beautiful voice. But yeah, there's nothing like seeing someone encounter a hardship and not lose faith. You know, there's so many like things in our lives that we can encounter or experience that aren't even to the scale of being diagnosed with breast cancer. And, you know, even in doing that, I've been trying to be better about comparing our struggles. You know, like the things that, you know, one person is dealing with versus what someone else might be dealing with, because our capacities are different and the way that God wants to use our struggles is different. And so, as I was saying earlier, these things can, in some ways, how we walk through them, glorify the Lord. I just lost my train of thought. I'm not going to lie. But yes, Brittany Radford is a beautiful soul, and I am so grateful for her witness in my life for the past 12 years that I've been in a relationship with her brother. But yeah, so I'm here, y'all. I am here. I didn't necessarily have a topic in mind, so this is going to be kind of like a free for all. I apologize in advance, but I hope that you will stick with me, because I don't know what I have to say, but I believe there is something that I have to say. And so I'm here. I am literally tired. Glenn and I started couples therapy again yesterday. Wait, what's today? Yeah. Yes. Well, by the time y'all listen to this, it wasn't yesterday. But Glenn and I started couples therapy again. I don't know if I've said this on here, but we started couples therapy last year. I want to say around March, April timeframe. And it was really good. It was really good. I mean, I think it was really good. This is Yvette's perspective. It was really good, and we were making progress, or at least we were like having conversations and getting tools to like be better able to communicate with each other and all the things. And then I think as we were in these sessions, I felt like Glenn needed to be in therapy on his own. And I was grateful that our therapist was someone that I felt like Glenn could relate to. He's a Black male. And so I made a suggestion. I was like, why don't you just like, you know, go off with him by yourself? Like I think in my mind, I was like, oh, he needs therapy. And if he's in therapy and I'm in therapy and we're working on ourselves, then we can come back together and do great. But nah, y'all, it wasn't like that at all. We still needed couples therapy, or at least I did. I am not that great of a communicator. I struggle in so many ways to communicate with Glenn specifically, because I think I'm intimidated by his ability to communicate as well as he does. If you know anything about my husband, he is a lyricist. He is a rapper. He is a poet. He has a gift with words. And so oftentimes, whenever he's trying to get a point across, he can have 15 different analogies in order to help himself explain his point, or in order to help me understand. And my vocabulary, my life experiences, the analogies, they don't all go there as far as when it's my time to explain things. And so with that being said, I suggested that we get back in. So we are back in. We had our first session. And from there, I think it kind of opened up a huge can of worms, and we just started talking and talking and talking. Before you knew, it was 2 a.m. in the morning. And I had to be up at 6 so that I could get our car to the dealership for service by 7 a.m. So I only got 4 hours of sleep, and I have not been able to nap. So here we are. You have the physically tired version of Yvette, and you have the mentally exhausted version of Yvette. This is literally Yvette Unplugged. There is no telling what is coming. And I am already in my mind, I have decided that I will not be like editing this or anything. I am just going to talk and put it out. And so hopefully this all works out. Anyway, one of the things that's been on my mind not too long ago, I think it's called the Wives Wind Down Instagram. I was invited to do a live, and she asked me a series of questions, but one question that she asked really like got me. And the question was, or it was like something like, hey, like you're on this journey to like finding yourself and self-discovery, this, that, and the other. And she's like, when did you lose yourself? And I was like, like I never actually thought about the moment that I lost myself. And so when she asked me that question, I think I paused for a moment, and then I was like, you know what? In order to lose something, that would imply that you actually like had something, that you had found something. And when I look back over my life, I don't know that I ever fully knew who Yvette is, you know? I look back at my childhood and I'm like, I think this is what happened. This is how I kind of explained it, where there were certain things that I did that, well, here's the thing too. I am a middle child. So I had my older brother and I had my younger brother. I saw my older brother make mistakes and get in trouble for things. And I saw my younger brother make mistakes and get in trouble for things. And I think I've discussed this. Oh, there's a whole episode about it. I am a people pleaser, right? And so for me, I think that in my childhood, I saw the things that got me like an applause or words of affirmation or things like that. And I started to like take a note of those things and become those things. I remember one time, must have been in like high school. Yeah, because in middle school, I got a 4.0. I got like that award in 8th grade where you're like, oh, you got a 4.0 for all 3 of the years that you're here. Yeah, yay. I don't know. I think it might have been my sophomore year of high school. I got my first B. And I remember my dad saying like, why do you get this B for? Something to that effect. And I was like, what? Like, really? And I remember in that moment wishing that I had never set the bar so high, you know, like wishing that I had kind of like what I call now played small. But I realized before, like I realized, oh, getting straight A's, you know, makes people proud of me or makes people happy. And I think there is this innate thing in me where I like to achieve and I like to do well. Like that is not something that has necessarily been molded or shaped into me, but that is, I think, an innate part of who I am. But I realized in my childhood, I think that I started to do things that were more so about how other people would perceive me or approve of me versus things that were really of me. And I don't want to like discount so many different things that are truly who I am, but I believe fully that is the case. Like that is a part of this whole like journey to self-discovery or finding who I am. And so, I've just found it interesting, like thinking on like, who is Yvette? I hope I don't cry in this podcast because I kind of feel like I'm getting emotional. I will also say that it is that time of month. You can probably tell by the beautiful pimples on my face if you are a Patreon and you are watching. But I told y'all I'm tired. Lord have mercy. Anyway, yeah. So that kind of like, it didn't rock me, but it kind of like, it made me think. And I feel like lately, especially within the past couple of weeks, I've just really been like, I don't have time to be anyone else other than who I am. Like, I don't want to be anybody else. I want to be me. I want to be fully and truly me. And that has been taking a lot of conversations to where I have to be honest with myself about who I am and what I want. Because like, the truth is, when you have played a role or played a part for so long, you probably like, or I can speak for myself, I have lost sight of like who I am. I've talked about in the past, motherhood being the greatest identity thief, but I don't know if that's true. Like, I think it's easy to get lost in motherhood. Like, that role is just kind of all encompassing, but there's so many other roles that can do that too. And so, yeah, y'all, I don't know. But as I think about the things that I've had to walk through, recently I had an experience where I was like, I am unapologetically Black. I am an unapologetically Black woman. I realized for years, for my entire life, I've kind of, and I don't even know if this is true, like to say this statement. I'm going to say it and then I'm going to try to like talk through it here. That's what this is, Yvette Unplugged, right? And so, the statement that I was going to make is I feel like for so many years, I have kind of played down my Blackness. Like, in this way, let me explain that a little bit more. I've played it down in a way where I have existed to make other people more comfortable with my Blackness, rather than being always Black or all the ways Black. I've gotten offended for being called an Oreo. And if you don't know what an Oreo is, it's someone who, well, it is a phrase that is offensive, but it explains someone as being Black on the outside and white on the inside. And I've been called that before, and it's whatever. You sound like a white girl. What does that even mean, y'all? I sound like who I am. I am me. But I feel like for so long I have done things to try to make other people feel comfortable. And the truth of the matter is, I am Black. And before you know that I'm a believer, you see that I am Black. And I think for so long, or I think for, centuries, Black women in particular, if they are to like say, I'm Black and I'm proud or whatever, I don't know. I don't even really know. I'm trying to protect the experience I had a little bit, but yeah, because you never know where content goes or who's listening. But I don't want to be an angry Black woman, but I am realizing that I am a Black woman. That sounds stupid, but like, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I recently felt like my voice was taken away from me. And it sucked. But it was necessary in order to protect the legacy that God has placed in the responsibility of our family. And so it was rough. It was rough to walk through, and I'm actually not going to talk anymore about it. There are so many people that might be listening and are like, oh, shoot, who know what's going on, but whatever. We're moving on. We're moving past it. We're growing past it. We're growing through it. But the growing pains don't feel great, y'all. And so, I guess like in this whole like finding myself, I am finding that I am a Black woman. I was recently, this past weekend, we were at a baby shower and I was talking to some friends and I was like, I am frustrated. I'm frustrated that I don't even know what I am. I know that I'm a Black woman. I know that my roots, or at least I think that my roots are in Africa, but who knows? Like, but where in Africa? Africa is like a whole continent. What country am I from? You know what I'm saying? And so it's really frustrating when you start to think about like that part of who I am, and I don't even have that to hold on to, or that knowledge of myself. And so I actually plan to do like one of those 23andMe or blood tests to find out like what I am, because I just feel like we as a Black people have been robbed. We've been so robbed, and I want to be able to pass on to my children like this is who we are. And so that's where I'm at. And at this point I am rambling. And so I don't know. I missed sitting here and talking to a camera and in a microphone. I miss interacting with all of you in whatever way that looks like. If I'm just completely honest, it's been hard. It has been so hard. But I want to say this. Like, I was talking to another friend. You think I talk to people all the time, but I really don't. I think recently I've just been able to have some conversations. But I was saying, how grateful I am for the parents that I had. How grateful I am to have grown up in a Christian home. Because there is no way that I can walk through this season that I'm walking through without the knowledge of whose I am. Like without my relationship with the Lord. And so even if you are someone who like has grown distant from the Lord and you are walking through something that's tough, and even if you aren't, even if you're like in a really glorious season, what a beautiful thing it would be for you to like return to the Lord. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to be all religious or nothing, but I tell y'all, if it wasn't for my faith, I wouldn't even be able to smile right now. Like, I am just so grateful for who God is in my life, in my family's life, how he's got his hand in the midst of it all. Like, even in the hardness of everything, I can see the shaping and the molding and all the things happening with him. And I am just so grateful. And so if you are someone who knows the Lord, keep pressing into him. Keep like drawing closer to him. If you're someone who has grown distant from the Lord, then just, start moving back in the other direction. And if you are someone who does not know the Lord, my Lord, find a local church and get plugged in. And I'm not going to lie, I'm frustrated with the church too. Lord have mercification. It's been wonderful. Anywho, I don't know what I talked about in this podcast, but I do know that I'm not editing it. So you get what you get. I hope that you got something. And yeah. I think I've shared this book before, After the Rain, by Alex L. And I what I really appreciate about Alex Ellis, I feel like she gives me permission to be where I'm at. Like, I don't have it all figured out. I don't think I'll ever have it all figured out. But she makes me feel okay about being a work in progress. I feel like she gives me permission to be on this journey to self-discovery, and unapologetically so. I think sometimes, like, it sucks to have to be in relationship with so many other people and aspects or whatever, and not have it all together, not have it all figured out, and not be able to communicate clearly, like your wants, needs, desires, all the things. But Alex, I feel like in her book and even in her post on Instagram, just really gives me permission in order to do that. And so I'm grateful for her words. I'm grateful for her life experience that she has shared with the rest of us. But in here, she has gentle reminders. And this gentle reminder really spoke to me. It says, I am gaining perspective from what is able to stay and finding wisdom in what has to go. Letting go isn't synonymous with missing out. I have the power to make room in my life for shifting and joy. I am releasing what no longer serves a purpose in my journey with grace. I will create space for change. And I loved it. Just period. I loved it. The one part that really stuck out to me in this season is that letting go isn't synonymous with missing out. And so I don't know what that means for me, but that part right there, that part resonated. And so that's where we're at. And yeah, y'all, I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you are taking time to, or you are making time for the things that actually like add to your life and bring you joy and do all the things. For me specifically, that is going on my walks. That is listening to my worship music. That is going to sleep at a decent hour. That is making time to have coffee with a girlfriend, or whatever. Actually, I haven't done that in a while. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have not done that in a while, but I did. Wait, I think I did. I mean, yeah, I went to, oh wait. Yeah, I did. Y'all. Okay. One thing real quick. Last weekend we celebrated one of my friends who's pregnant, and a girlfriend and I took our friend on a baby moon, which I think should be a thing. We only went one night. It was just overnight, right? It was lame. We should have done 2 nights at least. But I think baby moons with your girlfriends should be a thing. I know it's like honeymoon, baby moon is whatever. It's supposed to be for you and your significant other. But if that can't happen, why not do a girlfriend's baby moon? So I just want to make sure I just put that idea out into the universe for anybody who needed that. And then this past weekend, we celebrated another girlfriend who is pregnant, and I got to spend some time with some ladies. So that was nice. But yeah, so I have spent time with women talking. I guess that's why it feels like I've been talking to people. Anyway, y'all, letting go isn't synonymous with missing out. I think that's rich, especially for me right now. And so I really do hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves. That one analogy of the airplane attendants when they say, put the mask on yourself before you try to put the mask on your child or whoever's sitting next to you. Like, you are no good to anyone if you are not alive. And that's not just like a literal alive. You know what I mean? So let me go to sleep so I can be more alive the next time I record this podcast. Happy hump day, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. I know that you could be listening to anything else right now or whatever. So I appreciate you allowing me to join you for this car ride, for washing these dishes, for the walk that you're taking, for the moment that you're just taking to relax or breathe or do something for you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. And I will see you next week on Yvette Unplugged.